I guess we are live now. As soon as anyone comes here, please tell me whether or not you're seeing me well and you can listen me well. Well, this is a new channel, still a small channel. Hopefully, it's going to get bigger. And I just realized that YouTube has enabled it for live streaming. So here we are. Like some friends of mine in UK used to say, they use this term that I can be arsed. So I can be arsed to go through all the bollocks of filming, editing, and rendering videos and then uploading and stuff. So I decided to go live. This video is going to be here, and then I'm going to share and see if it gets, I don't know, if YouTube takes it forward, right? There are some topics to talk about. This is going to be very short. I talk a lot, but I'm gonna try to make this quite short. First, it's about Cuba. What's going on in Cuba is kind of crazy, right? I don't know if you guys are seeing it. Here in Brazil, we are only seeing Cuba through social media and right-wing medias on YouTube and stuff like that. Mainstream media is not showing it at all. The leftist parties here in Brazil are with the speech, with the rhetoric of people on the streets protesting for vaccines and against the United States, which is not true. If you look at the footages on the spot in Cuba, you see people asking for libertad or freedom, right? They're asking for freedom. They're asking for the end of the 60-year communism, the communist regime in Cuba with Fidel Castro and then his brother Castro and now another dude. I think that it's because nobody knows who is this dude. Is that things are going down to the drain in Cuba. And sooner rather than later, something's going to happen in Cuba. I know. What is very interesting about this, I'm not going to talk about what's going on in Cuba. Actually, I don't know if anybody actually knows what's going on in Cuba. What we see are the images of people on the streets chanting for freedom and nothing else. We don't see a leader. We don't see leadership. We don't see who is behind this. And I do not believe that, I don't know, 1 million people wake up on a given Sunday morning to, okay, it's a Sunday morning, we got nothing to do, so let's go out to the streets and bring down this communist regime, right? It's crazy. There is someone behind this. That's my view, that's my opinion. And that's what this opinion I'm giving you is based on what I know, what I've studied. And I still cannot figure out who is behind it. I think we are going to know as soon as some sort of leader pops up, right? What is what is quite interesting and it's kind of crazy is that the United Nations is doing nothing about it, right? If you guys don't know or don't remember, in 2018 there was this popular movement in Venezuela to bring down the communist regime there. The president Nicolás Maduro. Another guy named Guaidó claimed himself as the president of Venezuela, the temporary president. Then he was recognized by the United States, Trump, by that time, and many other countries now recognize Guaidó as the president of Venezuela. But the actual dictator Nicolas Maduro has the military with him. So they were able to stop that. This was 3 years ago. And it was, for those who were seeing what was going on, it really appeared that Maduro was going down. And at the end of the day, he didn't. And I honestly start thinking that this might happen in Cuba, that nothing is going to happen. What is the problem there that's different from Venezuela is that it's a much closer society. They're closed for medias, for social medias and stuff like that. And it's also, it's very hard to know how the repression is going on there, right? And communism is enforced by violence. That's how communism is enforced. Was enforced, is enforced now. In Soviet Union, 1917, in China, in 49, I guess, it was enforced by violence. So they started like planning the economy, taking the private. In the Soviet Union, there were no industry. It wasn't an industrialized country, so there were many people on agriculture, the owners of the lands. They simply took it from them, and whoever resisted was shot on the spot. That's how it works. There's no judiciary system, democratic system, elections, Supreme Court when you talk about communism. It's at gunpoint, you know. You don't like it? Boom. You explode your head right on there, right on the spot. Then they collect the bodies, throw in the truck, and a garbage truck, and throw it out somewhere. That's how it works. Um, Communist Party in China has killed 60 million people. And this was the top. And the Soviet Union and many others, it was the same way. And I guess this is what's going on in Cuba right now. People are being killed, right? And we don't know. And if nothing happens in Cuba, we will never know. That's the problem. We will never know. Then this guy, whoever the F he is, the president of Cuba now, he's going to show up and say, see, we stopped those crazy bastards. It was just like a dozen guys, and and nobody's going to know what happened. On the other hand, there's a possibility that the United States and good guys and CIAs, people like that, are behind this somehow. The CIA director was here in Brazil talking to our president, Bolsonaro, also in Colombia. And a week later, this protest started erupting in Cuba. I don't know, it's a possibility. There's another possibility that frightens me even more. It's that the communists themselves are behind this. There is this institution nobody knows about in Latin America, and you can search for it on Google. That's called Foro de São Paulo, or São Paulo Forum. It was installed many years ago by Fernando Henrique Cardoso from Brazil, the former president, Lula, the former president, and Castro, Hugo Chavez at the time, and of course in collusion with China and maybe Russia and Iran and the terrorist groups in Middle Eastern, Hamas and Hezbollah. And this group installed here a number of criminal actions with drug trafficking, narco trafficking, money laundering, weapons trafficking. Weapons. There are guys here in Rio de Janeiro, they actually can bring down helicopters, right? And they took over many countries. They took over Venezuela, they took over Peru, if I'm not wrong, Chile, Argentina, with Cristina Kirchner right now, and they are trying to get Brazil. They are trying to bring down President Bolsonaro as we speak, right? And install here not, of course, a traditional communist regime that is impossible to do here in Brazil, but the same kind of it. That's the same kind of it. They were the same kind of what they were installing here in the last 20 years, building big conglomerates, oligarchs, and throwing a little money to the base of society and give them, I don't know, 200 reais, about $50 a month, like social assistance, and the middle class paying the price for it, paying it all, right? So this is how the communism works in these days, whatever they are. If they can install a actual communist regime like North Korea or Cuba or Venezuela, they go like this, social democratic stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a communist mindset. So I'm not giving away the possibility of this Foro de São Paulo is behind this. It's like making a false flag revolution there, right? Banking it, backing it, paying for it, financing it. You just have to finance what? 100 guys. You don't need more than that. 100 guys and a gallon of gasoline. You can erupt a protest like that with 1 million people that are not satisfied with what's going on. So it's a possibility, right? It's pure speculation. And then you have the revolution, you let it go, people die, and then you bring down the regime and install a democratic Cuba, right? You start a democratic Cuba, and who is going to run it? The same guys, the same guys, the same communist guys, but with another outfit. That's how I see that this is a possibility. I don't see too many people talking about it. I talk about it with this or that guy, and nobody told me that it would be true. But I guess this is a strong possibility. It's a false flag revolution. So either is a legit popular revolution that is not being backed up by nobody in the world, including the United Nations, including Biden, or it is a good guys backed up revolution led by CIA, Brazil, Colombia. It's a possibility. It's a weak possibility. I don't see Brazil getting involved in this. I don't see. Just the CIA has the ability to pull it off. I don't know. Or it is a false flag operation going on in Cuba. And there are other countries that are erupting violence in South Africa and Iran, but I haven't seen any images, and I don't know what's going on. There are many changes going on in the world right now. It's difficult to keep up. On the other side of the story, that today it's July 19th. It's the first day that Boris Johnson has lifted restrictions in the United Kingdom. And this could be a game changer. This could be a serious game changer. The United Nations, the United Kingdom is out of the European Union. And it was kind of a very difficult process, but they got out. They are not aligned with the actual path that the entire European Union is going with this pandemic stuff and obligatory vaccinations and children vaccinations, lockdowns, crazy lockdowns. Boris Johnson, I have followed him from the beginning. I have followed what was going on in Brazil, in the United States, and in UK. I saw Boris Johnson going a gas lockdown policy. And then he suddenly changed it to extreme lockdown policy. And then he was the first guy to it was the first country to get the vaccine was the UK. And then you have more lockdowns, more extreme lockdowns. And now what you have is a total lift. See, I don't understand Boris Johnson. I can't understand Boris Johnson. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know many things about the UK. I have friends there. One of them was out on a given Sunday, I don't know, a month ago, on protests in London against lockdowns, against obligatory vaccinations, mandatory vaccinations. And people were in the streets. Mainstream media is not showing this, not here in Brazil, maybe not in anywhere else. If they show this kind of things here in Brazil, we get 1 million people on the streets every day, right? People here are fed up, but they're not going out for it. They're not going out for big protests, for what's going on. And here in Brazil, our President Bolsonaro has a big popularity, but he doesn't have the power to enforce the policies here to fight the COVID. This job was given to the governors, from the state's governors. So people are not happy with their governors, and this kind of it's too weak to make people go out. People don't go out to trash a governor. People go out to trash a president here in Brazil. That's my view. I don't know. I hope this changes soon. We are going to have presidential and general elections next year for governor, for the Congress, federal and states congresses. Let's see what happens. There is a big right-wing wave coming in Brazil. It started after Trump with the rising of rising of Bolsonaro, and there is this big fight going on in Brazil. Our Supreme Court was entirely named. There are 11 justices that were named by communist parties here. When I say leftist party or leftist agenda in Brazil, I'm not talking about what the Democrats are in the United States, right? Or Labour Party in UK. Although the Democrats in United States are going more and more to the left, like going socialist, really. Here in Brazil, there are this group of people, Partido dos Trabalhadores, PT, PSOL, Solidarity, go figure, and PDT. There are a few parties here. They are communists in essence. As I said before, they're not going to install here a communist regime per se. I mean, bring down all the institutions and get a dictator, but they already control all the institutions here. They control our Supreme Court. The 11 justices we have were named by these guys, right? You're going to hear soon, I hope you're going to hear soon about a Supreme Court justice named Barroso, Luis Roberto Barroso. He might be involved in some crazy, dirty crap. There are talks that a guy named Dirceu, José Dirceu here in Brazil, big ass communist here, he has this guy in blackmail for video footages and stuff, right? It's heavy shit. Pardon my French. And so we have the 11 justices. They're all of them are communists / globalists / progressists, all these guys, right? We have the Congress that is being paid or bribed by China. I mean, cash, right? It's not a promise. It's not this or that. It's not a free trip to Shanghai or whatever. It's cash. They're giving cash to Brazilian politicians, right? To Brazilian labor unions. They're giving cash, shut up, and push our agenda, right? So this is how things are going down here in Brazil. Brazil is the last frontier is the last frontier and the last hope for China. Actually, China is going to face a severe food crisis in the upcoming decades, and there are only a handful of countries that can uh, produce enough food to feed, I don't know, 2 billion people in China. Brazil, United States, Canada, Australia, and part of the Eastern Europe. But Eastern Europe, most of the production goes to Europe. So there's not many places in the planet to produce as much food as we produce here in Brazil. We produce a lot of soybeans and corn, which are the basis for the production of meat, right? Chicken and pork, mostly. So Brazil is the last frontier from China. Is the last chance from China. I don't know what they are going to do, and I sincerely and honestly hope that Brazil stop this movement here. That we will be able to stop this here in a democratic way. I mean, with elections next year, voting in a better fashion than we have done before, picking the right names, getting President Bolsonaro reelected, getting right-wing governors in, and most importantly, right-wing congressmen and women actually committed to the conservative agenda, the right agenda here in Brazil. And also, 21 minutes, we can talk about the United States a little. And whoever sees this and lives in the United States, if you see this eventually, please leave a comment here. I have this information from a guy here in Brazil. He kind of understands the legal process in the States. And I don't know if he's right. And I honestly think that what he says makes sense. There's recounting going on in Arizona, and I think that Pennsylvania is coming up, and Georgia might end up showing that the process, the electoral process, was fraudulent. That doesn't mean that Trump won. Even if they come up to the conclusion that Trump has won, but the process was fraudulent, as this guy says, then you have to get all the entire process is new, is void. So you have to get another election. I don't know if this is true or not. Whoever sees this, please leave a comment, and I'm going to look more into it. There is this hope of Trump getting back in August to the White House and stuff, and I don't know. With this information, I don't know if you have new elections. I don't know when this election is going to go down and who are going to be the candidates, and if it's going to be the same way as it was in November, December, right? And the other name that is very interesting, and that's also because that's the reason why I bring up the UK subject, the lifting the restrictions today, is that this can be a game changer because the governor DeSantis from Florida has done this in Florida, and everything is a-okay. Everything is a-okay. Every country that lifted restrictions saw the number of cases drop, right? Every place where you have more restrictions, you have more cases. Here in Brazil, there is a blending of things. You have lockdowns, more or less extreme. It's not clear whether or not the number of cases are going up or down, but what is clear is that the number of hospital beds are going down. So they are pressing the problem, they are keeping the problem. Not because the number of cases is going up, but because the number of hospital space, hospital beds, ICU beds are going down. They are pushing down these numbers. So you get every time you see, you get places with 95% occupation, but they never say 95% of how many, all right? 95% of 100 beds or 95% of 1,000 beds. So this is how this is being played here in Brazil, and I think, and I'm talking to people here, this is going to go all the way to 2022 elections. We're going to face another 15 months of this crazy things here. Maybe if they get successful in UK, as an example, and with the example from Florida and other states in America, we can have I don't know, we can have people here in Brazil demanding the stop of all the crap. What's going on here is that we're vaccinating most of the population now. People around 30 years old are being vaccinated. People around 45 or 50 up, they had all the 2 shots, and there are many people getting the disease even though they were vaccinated. One of the vaccines here in Brazil is Coronavac, that is forbidden in Europe, right? I think in the United States too. Coronavac is made from China. It was developed in China, tested in phase 3 here in Brazil, and adopted here in Brazil by the hands of Governor João Dória of the state of São Paulo, where I live. This is a whack job. This guy, João Dória, you go check him on CNN and BBC. This guy is a whack job. He's crazy. He's crazy, all right? He's a millionaire. He's an entrepreneur, a very successful businessman. He made his life doing all his little business here and there. And then he came to politics, and people vouched for him because he was an outsider, right? And here we are under lockdowns. This guy has the guts to put our state in severe lockdown, in red flag lockdown, and he gets on his private jet and fucks off to Miami, right? So you go check him, João Dória, Miami, you're gonna see what's going on. This was in the Christmas last year. And people are getting shot with Coronavac. Apparently the effectiveness of this vaccine is 20%. And now they are claiming that the vaccine is good because it prevents you to get, if you get the disease, you're not going to evolve to a very serious or critical condition. So this is not a vaccine, this is a prophylactic medication. I don't know. It's registered here in Brazil as an emergency vaccine, experimental emergency vaccine. That's how it's registered here in Brazil. And then it's being used like a prophylactic medication. I don't know if it's the same process to get registered here in Brazil. Anyways, the world is confused right now. Cuba is confused, it's a mess. Brazil is a mess, you have no idea. And this is not because of the President Bolsonaro, as mainstream media might be telling you, very much to the opposite of it. He's the one who defends the end of all those restrictions, or at least so they get easier than that. He defended also the use of early medications, use of medications in early stages, if you know what I mean. And of course, these options was thrown out here in Brazil because I don't know, it costs around $2-3, right? $3, $5 a pop. You get okay, or you get a vaccine that is $11 a pop times 2, 22 per person. 200 million people in Brazil, so you'll get the math. And this is how much we're talking about here. Only Pfizer only. The contract with Pfizer in Brazil is for this year is 200 million doses for $11 average price. So it gives you $2.2 billion a year. one pharma company. And this is going to be what? Forever. 2.2 billion in one country every year forever. It's a market that was this corona vaccine marketplace in 2019 was zero, nada, niente, absolute zero. And now it's 2.2 billion for one company. And it's going to be trillions of dollars per decade. They created a $1 trillion market out of thin air. That's what they did, with the help of China, of course, right? And with the help of the World Health Organization, WHO, and the creepy guy, what's his name? That creepy guy from WHO. I don't like the guy, Petrus Adhanom, whatever. These guys are criminal, right? In India, one of the people in the WHO is facing criminal charges in India. She set foot. It's a woman. If she sets foot in India, she is going to be arrested and maybe going through capital sentence there in India. And I cannot say why, because YouTube is going to bring down my video. I think that's it by now. This is the first time, and I apologize for my poor English. I don't practice for a long time, but I honestly want to make more and more contents for this channel. Also on Flickas, articles on Flickas. This is my address, porfirio.com/English. Porfirio.com is my portal. I write articles there, and /English, you are directed to my page on Flickas, where I got the content in English. I also have a group in Telegram. If you access this website here, you're going to find it. I think it's Brazil Connection, t.me/Brazil Connection. I don't remember the name of the group. You can follow me there too. This is just the beginning, and we're going to grow, hopefully. What else? I'm on Twitter, Cesar21, Cesar CESAR 20 NC21, Cesar NC21. But on the Telegram here on Porfirio/English, you're gonna find my contacts in English. Deborah is here. I hope you understand English, Deborah. You're always in my lives. Thank you very much. But this is a 100% English speaking. Deborah follows me in another of my YouTube channels that are in Portuguese. There is made in Portuguese. We have now 7,000 subscribers. Thank you very much in 4 months. And also the social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are growing. Groups on WhatsApp and on Telegram too. So whoever likes this video, please join us on our group. I'm going to leave the. No, I'm not going to leave the, because I don't remember the. Let me check it here, right? This is live, and there's nothing I can do. I gotta do. Let me check here so I can direct you to the right place. BR Connection Cesar Cremonesi is the name of the group. So t.me/Brazil Connection. t.me/Brazil Connection. Here it's on the comments now, and I'm going to leave it. I think it is on the description. I'm going to leave here on the video description. So thank you very much. Hope to come back soon with more information here about Brazil, opinions, thinkings about things going on in the world. I have friends that I would like to bring here to make lives with me, hopefully soon. And we're going to make this channel grow bigger. All right. Thank you very much. Have a nice week, everybody.